Welcome, 8th graders. I am so pumped to have you here today for this explainer on mastering the absolute superpower of research and note-taking. Seriously, whether you're tackling a massive science report, a tough history paper, or gearing up for a big debate, how you handle the information you find, it's going to make all the difference in the world.
Okay, I want you to be totally honest with me for a second. Have you ever felt completely and utterly lost in your research? You know the feeling. You've got like 10 different tabs open on your computer, a giant stack of books taking over your desk, and sticky notes literally everywhere. You finally sit down to write, and suddenly you freeze. You have this terrifying thought, wait, did I write that amazing sentence, or did I copy it directly from a website? That fear of accidental plagiarism during big projects? It's real. And messy notes are usually the main culprit. It's frustrating, it's super stressful, and it completely drains the fun out of learning. But hey, today we are going to fix that.
So here is our roadmap for today so you know exactly where we're heading. We'll hit the research roadmap, look at our biblical foundation, dive into essential note-taking strategies, tackle organizing your findings, practice together, and finally wrap up with our godly learner philosophy. All right, let's jump in. Section 1, the research roadmap. Why organize? Now, I really want you to completely change how you think about note-taking. It's not just writing things down to prove to me you read the book. It's actually about building a navigational map, like a GPS system for your final project. Think about it. When you build a house, you don't just dump a massive pile of bricks on the grass and hope it magically turns into a mansion, right? You need a blueprint. Well, your notes, they are the blueprint for your paper. Without organized notes, your research quickly becomes this messy, confusing hazard. You might find this one brilliantly perfect fact, but 3 days later, you've completely lost track of which source actually said what. And worse, if you aren't organized, you might accidentally copy someone's work without giving them credit. In the academic world, that's called plagiarism. And even if it's a total accident, it carries some serious consequences. My job is to protect your integrity, and organized notes are your absolute best defense for sure.
On the flip side, look at what happens when you do it right. A clear roadmap means you actually get to write faster because you aren't wasting time hunting for that one lost fact. You can find information easily, ensure everything is totally accurate, and best of all, you just feel confident. Imagine sitting down to write your final draft and feeling zero stress because everything you need is neatly laid out right in front of you. That's the dream, right? That is our goal.
Let's move right along to Section 2, the biblical foundation, making it plain. Now, you might be sitting there wondering, okay, what does organizing my history notes have to do with my faith? Well, actually, a whole lot. As students, the practical academic skills you learn are deeply connected to profound biblical wisdom, because God is a God of order, not chaos.
Listen to this incredible verse from Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. Write down the revelation and make it plain on tablets, so that a herald may run with it. See, God values clarity. He values purpose. When He gives a message, He wants it written plainly so the person carrying it can literally run with it, meaning they can deliver it quickly, accurately, and confidently. Taking clear notes honors that exact principle. When you make your notes plain and organized, you're setting yourself up so your final project can successfully run with it and clearly communicate the truth you've discovered.
All right, Section 3, Essential Note-Taking Strategies. Make it your own. This is the really fun stuff. This is where we stock your academic tool belt with the exact practical tools you need to take highly effective notes.
First up, the absolute most crucial skill you've got to master, paraphrasing. When taking notes, you must always summarize the material in your own words instead of copying sentences directly. Why? Well, two massive reasons. First, it literally forces your brain to actually understand what you're reading. If you can't explain it in your own words, you don't really get it yet. Second, it's your ultimate shield against plagiarism. Just use brief, punchy bullet points to keep things organized.
Let's look at an example to see this in action. We'll compare an original text to a paraphrase note. The original text says, the Amazon rainforest is home to over 10% of known species. Now, a bad note-taker would just copy that word for word. But check out our paraphrase note. Amazon rainforest equals biodiversity hotspot, parentheses, 10% of species live there, dash, World Wildlife Fund 2022. Notice how much shorter that is? We used an equal sign to save time. We summarized the whole big concept by just calling it a biodiversity hotspot. We completely translated the research into our own language.
And guys, please hear me on this very last part. Always include the source name and date with every single note you take.
Do not tell yourself, oh, I'll totally remember where I got this. Spoiler alert, you won't. At 11 p.m., the night before your massive paper is due, you will be absolutely panicking, trying to figure out where that one amazing fact came from. Just attach the source name and date instantly, and you'll never lose track.
Okay, on to Section 4, organizing your findings, grouping and color coding. So you've taken a bunch of brilliant paraphrase notes. Now what? If you just have a giant list, well, that's still pretty overwhelming. We need to take all those individual pieces and make logical sense of them.
We do this by grouping. It's honestly exactly like sorting laundry. Lights, darks, and colors into different baskets. When you group notes by specific themes or topics, you bring this beautiful order to the chaos of research. Your categories will depend entirely on your topic, so you might have a basket for causes, another for effects, maybe one for examples, and one for statistics.
For instance, let's say your topic is climate change. You'd set up a category called causes. Then, any paraphrase note you take that deals with what causes climate change goes straight into that bucket, like notes on greenhouse gases, deforestation, or industry emissions. Then, when it's time to actually write the paragraph in your essay about what causes climate change, boom, all your facts are sitting right there together, completely ready to go.
Another amazing organizational tool is a color coding system. This is an absolute game changer. It makes finding exactly what you need a total breeze. A lot of researchers use, say, blue highlighters for basic facts, green for direct quotes they might want to use, and yellow for questions they need to research further. When you're scanning a 5-page document of notes while writing, your brain instantly locks onto the green text, and there you go. You have your quote, and you're moving right along.
Let's move to Section 5. Let's practice together your homework. We've talked a lot about theory today, but now it's time to apply these brand new skills directly to your upcoming homework assignment. Let's put that tool belt to use, shall we? Let's look at the first question of your homework. Water covers 71% of Earth's surface. How would you paraphrase that fact? Think about it right now. Remember our golden rules. Don't copy it exactly, use your own words, and make it brief. Maybe you could write something simple like, Earth equals mostly water, 71%. See how easy that is? It captures the exact same truth, but it is completely yours.
And here is the rest of your assignment for this week. 1. Finalize your paraphrase of that Earth fact. 2. Explain why the date and source matter with every single note. 3. Tell me one distinct advantage of grouping your notes. 4. Go into your current research topic and paraphrase a real fact you've found. And 5. Explain how color coding will help your specific research process. By the time you knock out these 5 questions, you're going to know exactly what it takes to master these skills.
Finally, we arrive at Section 6, the Godly Learner Philosophy, Wisdom and Excellence. As we close out today's explainer, I want to zoom out a bit. Let's shift our focus from the mechanics of note-taking to the ultimate purpose of your education, right here at HeroesMart Academy.
You see, at HeroesMart Academy, we intertwine biblical morality with everything we teach because we firmly believe that education without morality can actually hurt. Having incredible academic skills, knowing how to research, write, and argue brilliantly is a wonderful thing. But intelligence alone, it just isn't enough. If knowledge isn't carefully guided by godly wisdom, it simply makes someone more capable of making poor choices. We want your knowledge and intelligence to empower you to make wise, God-honoring choices in your everyday life.
Listen to the deep wisdom found in Romans chapter 8, verses 6 and 7. It teaches us that keeping the mind spiritually minded leads to life and peace. That right there is the ultimate path to true academic and personal success. You could have the most beautifully color-coded, well-grouped notes in the entire world, but if your mind isn't spiritually minded, if your heart isn't seeking God's truth, you'll miss out on the incredible life and peace He offers. We absolutely want you to excel academically, but always while keeping your mind centered on God, truth, wisdom, and righteous choices. So, I'm going to leave you with this powerful challenge as we wrap up today. Will you use your academic excellence, including these brand new research skills, to pursue truth, wisdom, and righteous choices? Because organizing your notes is really just the first step. Becoming a lifelong pursuer of God's wisdom, now that is the real goal. Go tackle that homework, try out that new color coding system, and remember to make your notes plain so you can run with the truth. Have a fantastic day of learning, and I will see you next time.